Hey, everybody. Chris said something crazy. Welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini, live from our home in Clearwater, Florida.
Hi, everybody.
So tonight, Chris has four things that he's going to be talking about.
Probably more.
Probably more with when you guys have some questions, and then I'll do my thing that I always do at the end. I won't disturb him tonight. What we would like you guys to do is go ahead and like our Wednesday night OWCP Chats page, if you can, our Federal Injury Centers page. Also, comment what city and state that you're from, because we're always looking for more doctors to put in the area where there's a need. And don't forget to share our page to your Facebook groups, to your personal groups. And the last thing is, everybody has and does know a federal person. Every single person out there. Number one person that everybody in the nation knows worldwide is your mailman. So you do know a federal employee. You see them every single day. Some of you interact with them. Some of you have great relationships with them. So please tell them about our page. Please, again, share, like, comment, and we're about to begin. Thanks. I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
So since last week, we did the Facebook Live in our Clearwater office with the doctors and with a live audience, which was really, really fun. And, all the stuff that we talked about, I had this whole packet of laws. And it was really the first time I've really talked about those things, especially in that context. And since last week, all of the laws in that packet, I have each one of those heard at least one person who's either called us, texted us, or sent us a message or emailed us who told us that their supervisor violated that rule or that law, every one of them. So obviously we need to do another supervisor training, but it turns out they're not watching, or they're definitely not paying attention, or they don't care. So I wanted to talk about some of that stuff tonight. And we actually have a list of 4 things we're going to talk about. And I'm not necessarily going to go in order. I'm going to go out of order because I don't remember the whole list, but that one right there is going to tell me the whole list in a minute. So first thing that I want to talk about, though, is nurse case managers.
Yep.
Those of you that follow this saw me do a quick live shot last week discussing this. So what's happening is nurse case managers are going into doctors' offices that are owned by chiropractic doctors specifically, and they're saying to injured federal employees, to patients, that you can't be here, it's a chiropractor, and chiropractors can only do adjustments if an x-ray shows a subluxation, and that's all they can do. And so that's definitely not true. Those of you that have heard me say this, what I just told you that the nurse case managers are telling you is letter A in the law. Letter D says chiropractors can also do services in the nature of physical therapy when it is prescribed and directed by a medical doctor. So if you find yourself in a chiropractic office, stay. And here's the deal. Nurse case managers cannot make you leave your office that you're in.
Right.
You have the absolute choice of doctor. So whatever physician you choose is your right. You have the choice of initial selection, meaning the first choice. And that's absolute. There's no place in the law that says that that's not the case. So when you've made your selection, just know nobody can take that selection away from you. That's your choice. Okay. So that means no nurse case manager can take you away from your doctor. If you find yourself in that position, that situation where a nurse case manager is trying to get you to leave, just tell them no. It's your right to stay, and they cannot penalize you for saying no. They can't penalize you for staying. So that's going to be really important. Along the same lines, some supervisors or HR people are saying the same thing. They're saying that you can't go to that doctor because it's a chiropractor. Listen, here's the number one thing, aside from your absolute choice of initial selection of doctor. The other thing is that management and HR has no business in your OWCP case. None. They have the right to ask for a status update from the doctor. A doctor can give them that status update by using a CA-17 or a CA-20 usually. So they can definitely ask for updates. But other than that, they really have no business in your case. Their whole job is to make sure your forms are filled out right, your CA1 and CA2, tell you that it's your right to choose a doctor, assist you in finding a doctor if you ask for that assistance, turning in your forms to DOL within 10 days, okay, and then giving you the information you need so you can get paid. You know, those are their jobs, and all of those sound like things where if they did it, that would be really nice and pleasing, right? Because they'd be helpful. It is not their job, their role, their responsibility to tell you anything about your treatment. Okay, if they have an opinion about your treatment, I'd like to see their medical license. Okay, they don't have a license to have an opinion, and so they shouldn't be getting involved in that. They can't tell you which doctor to go see. If you choose to see a doctor in a chiropractor's office, that's just how it goes. They don't have to like it. They don't need to have an opinion of it, so we don't care what they think. This one particular person that I've been asked not to mention who she is or where she's located or what agency she's for, has been scaring federal employees into not going to see their doctor, and has been threatening federal employees who work for her or under her in this agency with not accepting work restrictions or not accepting or allowing for payment. I've had some people say that this particular person has said that they're going to make sure the case gets closed. Okay, they can't do that. All right, just no, they cannot do that. You know, on the back of a CA1, they can say they want to controvert your claim, but then they have to have a good reason. Okay, if they want to controvert your claim, there's got to be a reason for it. But the good news is for all of you is that a third party makes a decision. A claims examiner who works for Department of Labor, which is another agency altogether, makes that decision, not your supervisor, not HR, injury comp, not the health and resource management specialist. So they can't do that. All they can do is assist you with the claims filing process and ask for status updates along the way, and cooperate with doctor's orders on a CA-17. That's their role. That's their job. Anything else they tell you is just to scare you and prevent you from filing a claim, prevent you from choosing a doctor who can get your claim accepted. So don't be bullied by management, HR, injury comp, or by the health and resource management specialist. Don't be bullied by these people. And, you know, challenge them. If they tell you that you can or can't do something, ask them what law that is. You know, where'd you find that? I'm looking at a letter. I keep looking down. I'm going to show you the back of it. So I'm looking at a letter, a 4-page letter that I've written to this particular person that I'm about to put in the mail tomorrow and send it certified directly to her. And each of the things that she has told a federal employee, I have seen in writing because she put it in a letter, which was just brilliant. The last thing you really want to do is be wrong, put it in writing and let me see it. Okay, so those 3 things happen. And so I wrote a response to it. But in my response, I actually just used the law and told her how she was wrong on every point. So if somebody's going to be wrong on every point, don't be scared because they're wrong on every point. So, and we're going to help. So what we're going to do is give this to her, and then we're going to copy and distribute it to all the unions in the area. And then we're going to make it available to all the patients in the office that this is affecting. And then I'm probably going to make it available through social media, because stop screwing with our people. So that's happening, but don't be bullied and pushed around, because speaking, the law protects you and the law prevents them from doing these things to you. So that's a couple of issues that I wanted to touch on. It's really, really important, and it's really got me kind of fired up, and I've been pretty pissed off about it this whole week. Thank you. The next topic I want to talk about is supervisor responsibilities.
Hold on just a sec. I know somebody on the roll carrier site, you just messaged that, and I know Sarah McGahee, you told a young lady to watch us. So let her know that, and I put that on the post, that we are live right now discussing these 4 forums. And one of these forums that she was asking about. So don't forget to share this, because Chris is going to be talking about supervisor responsibilities on the CA1, CA2, CA16, and CA17. And I know that was a topic today on the Royal Carrier site. Yeah.
And that's been something that's kind of been a trend in the last week, especially like the CA1. And there's been some things about it. And so the laws that I talked about last week, these are a couple of areas where it's just really come to light that people are still doing this to you. So the CA1 form, that's the form you fill out if you've been injured in a single work shift. And what you have to do is you go report to your supervisor, and at that time, the supervisor gives you a CA1, and you both fill it out together. You fill out page 1, and they fill out page 2. So their responsibility is A, give you that form. B, to fill out page 2. Absolutely, they must fill it out. It's not optional. We've had some supervisors saying, I don't want to fill that out. I just wish I was there to say, too bad, fill it out. You have to fill it out. They have to sign it. They have to send it in to Department of Labor within 10 days of filling it out. That's their responsibility. Another thing that came up this week is somebody said that the supervisor wouldn't complete the form and fill it out, turn it in, until they have medical documentation about the injury. And so without going into the exact law, although anybody that wants it, just send us a message and I'll tell you what it is. The law specifically says that the supervisor should not wait for that sort of documentation before they submit your forms. They have to just turn it in. Remember, they're not involved in the claims process. And so they don't have any need for medical documentation. Their job is to turn the form in within 10 days of it being filled out. So don't wait on the document. Just turn it in. The doctor will himself or herself send the document into the claims examiner through eComp. And so their responsibility in the CA1 and CA2 is to fill out page 2 and turn it in. Okay, the other thing is give you a copy of everything. So the next thing that came up this week is someone that said their supervisor refused to give them copies of their CA1 and CA2. Okay, take my word for it. The law says that they have to give you copies of page 1 and 2, period.
Yep.
It's very clear. It very clearly says front and back of the CA1 and CA2. In fact, it says along with copies of both sides of Form CA1 and Form CA2 or Form CA2. So they give you those, plus they give you the receipt, the notice of receipt, which is another page on the packet for the CA1 and 2. In other words, you're supposed to leave with full copies of everything that was filled out, which is kind of common sense. But we've got managers saying, no, I don't have to do that. Well, the Code of Federal Regulations says you do. And so when you're in there filling these things out, just know. And when your supervisor says, I don't have to, say, listen, prove to me you don't have to, because I can show you the law where you do have to. And anybody that wants to know, and if they're in front of their manager right now, let us know, because right now I'll send it to you. What I've been doing, just as a side note, is I'm uploading these things onto the Federal Injury Center's Facebook page, as well as to Twitter at Fed Injury Center. We're up to 20 followers. I don't understand why it's not 2,000. Everybody, I know Twitter is kind of funny and we don't really understand it. And I've been telling you, I didn't really get it. But now that I'm doing it, I can see how useful it can be. If you're following and you set your notifications up, like say on your phone, to anytime there's a notification, you see like the number 1 or whatever, well, you can go look at it. Well, there's always something helpful there. It's short and it's not useless and it's not a waste of time. So go to Twitter at Fed Injury Center and follow the page, like it, whatever, follow it so that you can see this stuff, because I'm posting these things on there. Each time I have a federal employee that tells me about a problem they're having, that day I'm going and posting the law that helps and saying, hey, go here and take a look. You can have it printed out, whatever you want to do. So we're doing that at the Federal Injury Center's Facebook page, as well as Twitter at Fed Injury Center. Go create an account. It's free. And you don't have to follow anybody else, but you have to follow me, okay? Because it's really good information. You don't have to follow me. But if that works for me to tell you, just do it. Because it's going to be helpful. And we really want to be able to prevent your supervisors from giving you a hard time and giving you bad information and giving you letters like this lady here, telling you all kinds of things that just scare you. I want to be able to help with that. And so that's what we're doing. And to my knowledge, nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's ever taken the time to just help everyone with these problems. So many people that came before me, and I'll deal with this in a minute too, so many other previous companies that attempted to help, they were really only trying to help themselves financially, full of greed.
Yep.
And they didn't care about you. And if they did, they sure had a funny way of showing it. And, I realized like the best thing I can do is just help you. And so that's what we do all day.
For free.
For free. it's how it should be. We shouldn't even have to say for free. Like, you should just understand that's how it should be. So anyways, go to Federal Injury Center's Facebook and at Fed Injury Center on Twitter, and you'll see this stuff. So the next form, the CA-17, the duty status report. So here's another issue. We've got supervisors that are saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to fill it out. So the form goes from letter A to letter B. So if you can all just think in your own head, which one comes first, A or B? A. Okay. So A says supervisor. B says doctor, right? Or physician, whatever. So A comes before B, right? So A is supervisor. Who do you think fills it out first? Right, supervisor. Exactly. So what you have to do is you got to get the form from the supervisor. They fill out the top of the page, and then they fill out side A. Okay, so left half of the page. So most of us read left to right. And so when you start the left of the page, it says A, supervisor. They'd have to fill that out. So these supervisors are saying, I don't want to fill that out. I'm not going to fill it out. I'm not going to let you have restrictions. We'll see about that. So the doctors that I've trained are trained to go to federalinjurycenters.com, print out a CA-17 duty status report, fill out side B, and on the page say the supervisor, and we'll put the supervisor's name to make sure we're specific. We don't want to get all supervisors in trouble, but if Supervisor Bob or Jane or Mary or whoever refuse to do it, we're going to say, Supervisor Bob refused to fill out side A. What can we do? And we're going to turn that into DOL and let the claims examiner deal with that.
Yep.
Okay. Their responsibility is to fill it out on demand. Every time you ask for one, they have to do it. That's how it goes. And why are you asking for it? Because the doctor needs it, and they have to fill out side B. And they are going to fill it out multiple times throughout your injury care, because there's going to be status updates. There's going to be improvements. And so they need to report that. The only way to report it and protect your job is a CA-17. So the supervisor must fill it out and give it to you to take to the doctor. And then the last form that I want to touch on is a CA-16. It saddens me every time I go to like a union meeting or something, and I ask for a show of hands, who's heard of a CA-16? And in a room of 20 to 50 people, 1 or 2 people raises their hand. Never heard of it. So that's tragic. A CA-16 pays your bills for the first 60 days after date of injury on a CA-1 claim. And so your claim's not accepted yet. It's new because it's a CA-1 injury. And it happened in a single shift, and hopefully you're reporting it the same day, so it happened today. Well, your claim's not accepted today. It just happened. And so for the first 60 days, when you have the CA-16 form, it pays your bills. It pays all your bills. Everything related to your injury, it covers it. It covers ER visits, urgent care. If you go to the ER and the urgent care first because it's emergent or urgent, that's fine. But call another doctor next. Don't keep going back. Your claim's going to get denied just incidentally. That goes for if you find yourself with a VA doctor. It's fine. These are world-class doctors. Don't go back a second time. If you go back a second time, guess who your treating doctor is? Your claim's getting denied. So we're trying to stop denied claims.
Let me stop you there. There's a Natasha. I'm going to address your question, Natasha. She said, I was told to use the OWCP 5C instead of the CA-17.
So the 5C is very similar to the 17. It is it's sort of a status update on your physical abilities. But the CA-17 duty status report it protects your job. That's how a doctor can take you off of work, send you back to work, give you restrictions. The OWCP 5C is really just kind of like a status update. That's it.
Right.
And our doctors almost never fill those out because the 17 is more relevant and it protects your job. So we prefer to protect your job. But the 5C is a good form. It just doesn't do what the 17 does. Okay, so don't confuse them. They may look similar, but they don't have the same impact with supervisors.
Yeah, and our buddy Tammy, she says, yep, never heard of a CA-16 once we get screwed. Once we got screwed.
Yeah, she did. They definitely did. But yeah.
And Jerry as well. Yeah. I know. So, listen to what he's saying in detail about the CA-16, guys, because this is one of the questions I saw several times today on your Facebook chats.
So more on the 16. So here's what's happening. You get injured today. You report your injury today because on the CA-10 form where it says report as soon as possible. As soon as possible means when? What does it mean?
Oh, now.
Now. It means now. As soon as possible means now. You're hurt now. Report now. And so here's the law. They have 4 hours from your injury to give you a CA-16.
4 hours.
So check it out. The law doesn't say 4 hours unless they don't feel like giving it to you. It doesn't say 4 hours unless they've never heard of it. 4 hours unless they don't know how to find it. It doesn't say any of that stuff. It says they have 4 hours to give it to you. And so you request it and then start the clock. You are owed a CA-16, okay, if it's a new CA-1 injury. And you should encourage your unions to assist you in filing grievances if you don't receive it in 4 hours and 1 minute.
Yeah.
We've got to put a stop to supervisors saying they don't know what this form is, they don't have to give it to you, they never heard of it, whatever, okay? We have to put a stop to that. And one of the best ways to do that is file a grievance.
Yep.
So initiate the grievance, tell the union you need help, push back. If everybody does it, people are going to start finding out what a CA-16 is pretty quick, and you'll start getting them. But look, it pays your bills. You know, our offices are unique in that we never take money from anybody, no matter what.
Yep.
Even if your claim is shockingly ultimately denied and there's nothing I can do about it, we still won't ask for money. You know, we're not going to go back and say, well, I know we said we'd take money, but we got it denied because we did such a bad job. So now we need money. It's never going to happen. Okay. No doctor that can, if you can't get a claim accepted, you don't deserve to get paid. So in our offices, you don't pay anything ever, period. Okay. But we don't control pharmacies and MRI companies, although we're able to have some influence at times. Surgeons, you know, we don't control those different offices, practices, and they're going to want to take your money. If you have a CA-16, it pays all of them.
Yeah. And
you don't have to pay any of them out of your pocket. And so get a CA-16, and they have 4 hours to give it to you. You're not eligible for a CA-16 if it's a CA-2 claim. You're not eligible for a CA-16 if you wait more than 7 days to report your injury. That's the way it goes. So report your injury right away and demand that you get your CA-16 within 4 hours of the request. And if they never heard of it, tell them to go to Google. Show them how to get to Google and how to use it if you have to. Make it happen.
So I'm just going to pause, Chris, for a sec, because there's some questions coming in and we don't want to get backed up. And I know these forms are important. So Miss Landrum, she said, I wish there was unified numbers for the postmasters to fill out on a CA-17.
I don't know what that means, but
I think she's making just a statement.
I'll tell you what, any systematic thing that any agency could do to make it easier for you, I'm all in favor of.
Yeah. Lynn, she said she's been off for over a year and never heard of a CA-17. Went to the office in Memphis. Was that our office? I just want to know. Went to the office in Memphis. They called the supervisor. He refused to do it.
Yeah.
What should she do?
I'll be posting. I haven't found this because I haven't been asked to look for it yet. But I'll find the law in the Code of Federal Regulations or in the United States Code, USC, that addresses the CA-17. I'll post it on Facebook and on Twitter, and we'll get back to you. And so you can just take that. I know what they're doing. You know, they say they don't have to or they don't want to, but that's why the office can just go print one at federalinjurycenters.com with the red forms tab and fill out the right side portion, letter B for the doctor, and write on there, supervisor refused to provide a CA-17. And write the supervisor's name first and last. Let's make sure the claims examiner knows who's making their job harder. Because these things go to the claims examiner too. They don't just go to the supervisor. They go to the third-party agency at DOL, okay? So let's make sure they know who's causing trouble. It's not you, it's not the doctor, it's supervisor. Let's put a stop to it. Let's make them famous.
So Tammy, you said there should be laws against them not giving people the CA-16 and 17.
Those laws exist. Yeah, I mean, they have 4 hours to give you the CA-16. It doesn't say 4 hours unless they don't want to or don't know how or never heard of it or they're just jerks. And on the CA-17, there's a reason this form exists. Okay, there's a reason. The second page of it tells the doctor to fax it to the agency, to Department of Labor, to give you 2 copies. I mean, there's a reason all these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a reason the supervisor is letter A and the doctor's letter B. You know, it's not just like somebody wasn't just sitting around one day in their office and said, you know, today I'm going to make forms. Forms is going to be my office job today. There's a reason. Go ahead.
Nina's one of our cute little patients in Birmingham. We love her so much. She said, so can we file a grievance for not being handed a CA-16?
Well, that's my recommendation, is that you file a grievance. You know, I've had varying opinions given to me by people in unions, stewards, presidents, and so forth. Some of them don't want to file a bunch of grievances, and others are like grievance hungry. I hope you have a grievance hungry president and or union. You should definitely, as I understand it, you can initiate the grievance yourself, I just like to involve the unions because I think there's power there.
I know, Renee, you were responding to Lynn's question. It says, hi, Lynn, I've been off almost a year. Got a letter, said OWCP only covers up to 365 days. Can you be off longer if your doctor puts you off?
They have to follow the doctor's orders. Now, look, the doctor can take you off of work, and the agency can decide they don't have, work for you. But that's why you need to be involved with your union, because there's a line where, like, I can't step on that side of the line and control the agency. That's why you guys are unionized. The union is there to back you in those situations. I know some of you have a complaint on that, and some of you don't like that I say go to the unions, and you have your own personal reasons. But I think that's the most effective thing you can do.
Okay, and Sarah, so then Chris is going to go on to the next topic. Nina says, okay, I handed a blank CA1, didn't hear about the CA16 till I came to our office. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Okay, and then let's see. Sarah, she says, I'm working part-time and OWCP is not giving me compensation for the hours I can't work due to my CA17. I'm waiting for surgery to be approved. What do you suggest I do to get my back pay and be paid for the hours I'm not working?
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons you're not getting paid. I don't know your personal situation, but if your claim is not accepted, you're not going to get paid. Okay, the only way to get paid for time, to get any benefit, any of them, it doesn't matter, except for the CA16, is to have an accepted claim. You got to get it accepted. So if we haven't done that, let's get your claim accepted. Once your claim is accepted, if you're not filling out the CA7 and 7A for your intermittent time off, and when you're away from work for part of a day, that's intermittent time. If you're not filling those forms out and turning them in at the end of each pay period, you're not getting paid. Let's say you are filling those forms out, okay, and you're doing a perfect job filling them out, but you're not attaching documentation as to why you're off work, then you're not getting paid. So just to recap, I've said this in past videos, but when you turn in your CA7, claim for compensation, find any form I mentioned, you're going to find on my website, federalinjurycenters.com. So just go there, hit the forms button, and print them out. It's easier for you that way. But once you have a CA7 and 7A, you got to attach printouts of your appointments with the doctor. If you're at the doctor, if you're at an MRI, print that out, whatever, your medical visits, print that stuff out from the doctor and have them sign it. Have the doctor sign it, or therapist, whoever the licensed person whose office you're at, have them sign it. And then when you're off because of a CA17, they took you off of work, you want to attach a copy of the CA17. They want documentation. Don't make them go find it. Okay, trust me, they're not going to find it. They're just going to deny you. And then a form CA20. I found a training module for supervisors and probably nurse case managers and claims examiners. I don't know, but it was a PowerPoint presentation that I actually found on the DOL website that said that a CA20 should be attached to claims for compensation. And for anybody that wants to go take a look and search for this, I found a PDF the other day. But I also found somebody that said a CA20A would be useful. It's hard to find a new one of those. I think it's an outdated form, but I mean, what do you have to lose? But the point is, you got to attach documentation to CA7s and 7As, and your claim has got to be accepted. That's how you get paid.
Lynn, if you can message me privately what union you're with, and I'll call you tomorrow and give me your number, because since we're in Memphis, I'd like to help you with that and make sure the supervisor is working with you. Unfortunately, we don't call the
supervisor is not going to work with you, but we'll try.
We'll try to help you with that. And then, Lynn says our union steward said he doesn't get involved in work comp stuff. That's a steward. Is a steward a part of the union?
Union steward. So that's fine. Just look.
Being funny.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little frustrated with those types of things happening. We'll help you as much as we can. I'm not part of any union, but hell, maybe we'll just start our own union here. It'll be our OWCP, get our claims accepted union. We want to help, and so you deserve the help. We'll do the best we can to help you out.
Jody Jacobson said, what about shoulder injury that happened over time, about a year, turned today a CA16 for that? I guess he turned in a CA16 today.
You had a shoulder injury that developed over the course of a year. So I think we may be getting some things confused because you probably didn't get a CA-16 for that. You turned in a CA-2, almost certainly, if you're reporting that injury. That would be reported on a CA-2. So give us some clarification, and I'll see where we can go to help you.
Oh, Lynn, okay. You'll be there tomorrow in the office for therapy. I will call Greta.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss some things.
We'll see what we can do to get you some help.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions on how to file your CA1, CA2, and when to file a CA1 and a CA2, or any more CA17 or CA16 questions? We're going to keep moving on then. And if you have any more questions at the end, you guys are welcome to post and we'll answer them later on this evening.
What's our next topic?
The next topic is...
Yeah, I found it. I found it.
Let's see.
Hold
on. Stephanie says, my claim is accepted. I had knee surgery, back to work, limited duty. My doctor doesn't feel I will ever be able to do my job fully again. What do I have to do if I apply for disability retirement? What are the requirements?
You have to first apply for Social Security. You don't have to get that, but you have to apply for it. Your doctor will need to write a narrative report. That doctor that said you'll probably never do the job again will have to very clearly explain why not. Okay. And, why the job, or it actually doesn't have to be a OWCP claim that causes disability, but it seems like in your case it did. So you have to explain why the job caused this and why, as a result of your disability, you're no longer, or your injury, your condition, you're no longer able to do that particular job. You can still go out and get a job at a non-federal agency and receive up to 80% of your income at that non-federal agency, like Subway. You can go make sandwiches and get up to 80% of your old income. And you can still get the 60% in the first year, 40% in the years thereafter of federal disability income. But those are the two things you need to do. If you want more information on that, contact Eric Blowers, a lawyer, and anybody that wants his contact information, Gini can send that out to you because he's an expert in federal disability. I think I just told you almost everything I know about it. But I tell you this, if your doctor writes a really great narrative report, you'll get approved. And if not, Eric can help you with that.
Jerry says, hypothetically, if a case, we're going back to a case manager topic that Chris was talking about.
No, this would be fun.
Hypothetically, if a case manager nurse comes to a doctor's appointment, do you have to allow them in the room during the appointment or exams?
Yes and no. So if a nurse case manager comes to the doctor, I always recommend that visit with the nurse case manager happen with the patient in the room because you have every right to hear what's being said. I would not let them have conversations without me in the room. However, I have it on pretty good authority that you could write a letter dismissing your nurse case manager from your case. I've seen a letter like that, and those letters work. So I know it can be done. Anybody that wants to do it, just message me individually, and I'll tell you what the deal is on that. I don't think that it's necessary all the time. A lot of nurse case managers have really good intentions. A lot of them are really good at their jobs, but some of them need to be relieved of their duties, helping you or hurting you.
Lynn, Devin Cassidy is your national OWCP rep that we work with very closely. And the attorney Chris is talking about is attorney Eric Blowers that deals with federal employees with their federal injuries and personal injuries and impairment ratings and any federal issues you guys have.
And JJ, absolutely. And thank you to you. JJ says, my greatest job is helping fellow employees as a steward. I couldn't agree more. And honestly, JJ, and for all the rest of you stewards that are out here watching this, if you're watching this, it's clear that you really care about this. But it's always shocking to me when I hear about one that doesn't want to help, because all the personal friends that we have that are union stewards are all in. And some of them are like lethal. Some of the union presidents I know, if I had to be on the other side of the table against them, I'd be very, very worried about losing, because probably it's going to happen. I just don't know a lot of stewards that aren't all in on helping. And so, when there is one, I'm sorry about that. But most of the ones I know are just killer. And I'm proud to know them.
Barbara,
I'm proud to know you too, JJ.
Barbara, you made a comment. You said you think a lot of stewards don't know about OWCP, and a lot of branches have union reps that help with OWCP. Yes, they're supposed to know about OWCP, but they're not getting the full training. Like, I mean, we've gone to rural carrier state conventions and the boosters and stuff, and their stewards are there and they're learning this stuff from Chris. So that's why we ask that you ask your state president if we can come and talk at your state conventions, because this is what Chris does, like a little over an hour presentation, and he's literally training the stewards, because it's all the stewards and some, regular rural carriers in there. So that's the only way we can come to your state to do the training. So we understand that. We know that, the NALC has NBAs, and I'm not knocking on anyone, because
no, it's a really important job.
It's a very important job, but sometimes they say they know the information, but there's people that don't know that they exist and what their job description is. And it's hard because they're not out there marketing themselves saying, hey, if you need help, let us know. We talk to the unions, and that's the only information, and us doing this is how you guys are getting the information. But if those of you that have this issue want us to come to your state and train, we will. And you made a comment about Devin Cassidy, and that he's very rude. Understand one thing about Devin Cassidy: he may sound
he's
rude
super cool.
Yeah, he may sound rude over the phone. You have to remember, he oversees an entire nation of rural carriers, which is like what, 300,000?
It's 100,000.
100,000.
But that's a lot of people.
And he gets phone calls. I mean, his phone doesn't stop.
Wait,
I know.
Hold on, just how many people is Devin?
One.
Oh, so it's 100,000 of you and one of him.
So
and there's no help. He doesn't have anybody else at the entire NRLCA that has in fact, he's the first OWCP person in the union. And so this is a really important job. Okay. And like, I'm really grateful that so many people hop on here and let me talk and, let us teach you. I love that. To me, it's an honor to teach you. And I'm one guy and there's a whole bunch of you. Well, I know how Devin feels. It can be overwhelming. We spend, especially her, but we spend all day some days just answering calls and answering messages and posting things and preparing for this, and then traveling to go speak at union meetings, and it's a lot of work. And so I know what he's going through. He's one guy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's all in on this too. I mean, he's one of the very few people in this country that if I had an OWCP question and I was stumped, I'd call him. So take it easy. He's one guy and there's 100,000 of you. And I know for sure he very much cares about his position. He cares about you. And there's some things that make him probably want to throw a stapler across the room because he's tired of seeing you get screwed around. And one thing he can't control is that there's no doctors in your area. You call him and ask for a doctor, like Iowa. That's one of the many states that there's just not one. So just take it easy.
Yeah. And so here's my advice. Chris was just with Devin 2 weeks ago in Virginia. We try to go meet all of the national people when we're in each different state. Here's my advice to you: when you're trying to contact Devin, try not to call him. I'm not telling you not to, but try not to call him. Send him an email with your attached documents. Yeah. Like if you got a denial letter and you didn't contact us, or you have an appeal and you didn't contact us, or whatever it is, send the information to him. Give him a summary of what it is telling him about, not complaining about. And then that way he can see what the issue is, and he will email. And again, remember, there's one Devin, one computer, one phone, and 100,000 of you guys.
Yeah. So. And Lynn, look, nothing against what you said. This is frustrating. If you're not frustrated and you're going through this, it would shock me. This is very frustrating. So nobody knows that better than me. And I want to just say to Gary, who says being a steward is a blessing to help my fellow members. Gary, thanks. I couldn't have said it better. And that is the sentiment of almost every steward that I know. I think that those that don't want to help are outliers and probably won't be stewards for long anyways, because I think you have to love it. It's a hard job. And you guys have a really, really important job. So Gary, thank you to you too. Just like JJ, thank you. I appreciate you guys doing what you do.
Yeah, Gary, you said this is helpful information in Idaho. I've been to Boise. I'm from Utah, so
What's up with that blue field,
Boise,
man?
Idaho. And Thomas, I know you're traveling 3 hours to get to our Memphis office because of this situation. We're sorry you have to travel 3 hours, but I'll tell you, it'll get done correctly. Let's see. All right, Iowa. Funny you say Iowa has no federal work comp or attorneys. We just were joking about who's in Iowa because we got some friend requests and stuff. So.
Oh, hey, raise your hand if you're on this side of the camera and you've never seen Field of Dreams. I know.
Wait,
I had to tell her the story. Is this heaven?
Yeah. And Jerry, you're so sweet, Jerry. You're always so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nina, I know. We talk on a daily basis through text. All right. Next.
That's all for the topics. So just to recap, in summary, your supervisor cannot refuse to assist you in your CA1s and 2s, filling those out. They must send them in to DOL within 10 days of filling them out. They must give you complete copies of everything, including the notice of receipt that's a part of the packet. When you request a CA16 and you're within 7 days of your injury on a CA1, they must give it to you within 4 hours. Okay? This is the beauty of the law. The law is unequivocal. They must do it. Your choice of doctor is absolute. It's your choice. Nobody can take that away from you. You choose whatever doctor you want to go to. Choose wisely. Look, you go to the wrong doctor, you get a bad claim, or you get a bad outcome. That's how it goes. No more denied claims. Look, if you go to a doctor, and somebody kind of scolded me the other day because I keep saying bad doctors. They're probably all great doctors and probably really great men and women and whatever else. They're not trained, and they don't know how to write a narrative report, and they don't understand the forms. And, you know, when a denial comes in, they give up because it's too much work and they're not getting paid because they got the claim denied. So that's what I mean by bad doctor. I just mean, you know, a doctor that doesn't know how to help you and get your claim accepted. So that's really important. So choose the right doctor, but the choice is yours. Soon we're going to be putting a link. I'm kind of getting off topic now. 17s also. Let me just finish the form thing out here. They have to give you those. If they don't, let's make them famous on the form. Okay. But they got to give them to you. It's important. It's part of the medical record and the doctor needs it. So tell your doctor to just go to federalinjurycenters.com and print them out. Print all the CA17s they want, but only if they're going to go on there and say that Supervisor Bob refused to fill it out. That's why you go onto our site to fill that out, because it should originate with the supervisors. So we talked about the forms. We talked about your absolute right to choose a doctor. We talked about what the HR folks are doing to some of the agents, to some of the federal employees, scaring you away from going to a doctor just because he happens to be in a chiropractic office. Medical doctors and chiropractors work together all the time. And if an MD is in a chiropractor's office, you can see the medical doctor. And if your management, HR, injury comp, or health and resource management specialist says that you can't do that, they're incorrect, okay? And you can point them to the letter that I'm about to send, all right? It's very clear, okay? And anybody can understand this. I don't, although I probably could, I don't write at a PhD level. I make it to where everyone can understand. And so your health and resource management specialist will as well. You can choose your own doctor. You can't be ripped out of the doctor's office by a nurse case manager. You can't be threatened by management. Management that tries to prevent you from filing a claim. This is not new information. I just haven't said it tonight. But anybody that tries to prevent you from filing a claim can be fined and imprisoned. It's pretty serious.
Yeah.
So they can't do that to you. Okay, the law's on your side. Anybody that has these problems, just like in the last week and the weeks before, any problems that you run into, let us know. I'll find the answer. I'll post it. You'll have it, and everybody else will have it too. So that's a good recap of what we talked about tonight.
My turn. Get out of the way.
All right.
No, just kidding. Anyway, so my job is to let you guys know where we're going to be, what's upcoming, what's happening. So first off, we wanted to say welcome to all of our Montgomery federal employees. We finally have our Montgomery office up and ready to go. And I know, Tanielle, you're probably listening and you got my text message last night.
Next week is finally here.
Yeah, so I will be calling everybody back probably no later than 5 o'clock tomorrow, because I have a system where I'll be booking your appointments. So everybody that's in Montgomery that needs to get in, I'm going to start booking your appointments tomorrow and Friday. Chris and I are coming to Montgomery Monday, Tuesday, and flying out Wednesday. So we'll be in the office all day Tuesday, seeing all the new patients from the Montgomery area.
Come visit us.
Yeah, so even if you can't get an appointment, come by, come say hi, come get some brochures and share it with the AFGE, the rural carriers, the mail handlers, the NALC, APW. Come get some, because I won't be out passing these out this time, only because we're going to see all the new patients.
Yeah.
You know, blow up my phone, send me messages of everybody that needs to be seen. Next month, we're going to make our rounds to all the agencies that I just said, to give them the brochures, let them know Montgomery's open, let them know that we're ready to come to the union meetings. And we already have a set with Tuskegee VA and Montgomery VA. And Danielle, we're very thankful to you and Jackie for both VAs and supporting us for what we do for you guys.
Hey, let me say this too. So she hasn't actually been in the Montgomery office yet. So this will be a really great surprise for her. One of the things that's important to us is that the offices that we decide to work in, and it's our choice, are first-class locations with first-class people. Because you can go anywhere and be treated badly, and you can go anywhere and go into an office that, you know, is a dump, and we don't want that. This guy's office, Dr. McIntyre, the reception room could be like a cafe. You know, when I walk in, I want to sit down at a table and order coffee. It's beautiful, and the whole place is first class. I mean, beautiful floors, beautiful walls. All the equipment is incredible. One of us is dying, the other one is not. He's talking. It's a spectacular place, and Dr. McIntyre is a visionary doctor. He's super excited to help. You know, when he was being trained on how to write a narrative report, he just got it instantly. And so we're really, really happy to be able to work with him. You're going to be happy to be able to work with him, and going to this office is going to be a treat. Something tells me you'll come to the office and say, you know, do I have to leave?
Yeah,
you'll want to stay.
What I heard.
It's a really great place. It's not unlike any place I've ever worked at. And I've been in some really nice places, some really large places. This place is first class. Okay, it's probably better than the hotels.
Yeah, so come out and see us if you just want to come by and say hello and grab some brochures. We're going to have a lot of brochures. I'll do a Facebook Live to walk around the office and show you what's all going on. Those of you that know Dr. Fitz Harper, our MD in Atlanta, he will be a part of the Montgomery office. Yeah. Those of you that know Dr. Donovan Harper, the chiro in the Birmingham office, he will be a part of this. And so we're so super excited. And then Dr. McIntyre, is he a DO?
He's a medical doctor.
He's a medical doctor too. So we have a great staff in this office, great doctors. A lot of you know some of them already. So we're putting them all together to make Montgomery great. So I'm trying not to think of JJ. So again, we wanted to welcome all of our federal friends in Montgomery.
Hey, we're going to be there all day Tuesday, so we really hope somebody will stop by.
Danielle, you better show up.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll post the address, and we'll also make sure the address is listed at federalinjurycenters.com. As of right now, you just scroll to the very bottom of the homepage, and you find all of our locations. So tomorrow we'll have the Montgomery location listed on there with the actual physical address. I expect to see people showing up and getting a tour. I just want people to start coming in and kind of seeing what's going on. You can't have the problem anymore in Montgomery of saying we can't find a doctor.
Yeah.
It's been hard. Those of you that don't know the history, our first office in Alabama was in Montgomery.
Yep.
With a very nice man who was a doctor there, who after a couple of weeks decided it was just too much and he didn't want it. And I say this all the time. Most doctors run from this program, right? I mean, that guy did, and I hated it. He ran from it. But now we have 2 medical doctors now that want to help, and they're going to be in the same place.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be a great group of doctors. We're going to get everybody scheduled. And what else is going on that I wanted to discuss? Oh, yeah. Union meetings. Those of you, again, that want us to come to your union meetings, please we know you guys as employees and stewards want us to be at your union meetings and at your state conventions and your national conventions. Again, the only way we could do this is if your local president or your national email us, call us, text us, whatever. That's the only way we can come and do a union meeting. And just so you guys understand, we know a lot of the national people already. we know AFGE, APW, NALC, who else, and the roll carriers. So and the mail handlers, we're still working. We know a lot of the state presidents there, and we're coming to your unions. But if we don't get the invite from the state president or the national, we can't come to your state convention, nor can we come to your national convention.
Without an invite.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has to go through them.
And we badly want to do it. Nobody wants me speaking at these things more than I want me speaking at them. It gets me fired up. I love doing it.
Yeah.
So we hope we can.
Yeah, Tara, no, Dr. Harper isn't leaving Atlanta. He will be working in Atlanta. He will also be working in Montgomery, and he will also be working in Birmingham. We're just combining them all together. And they're, Dr. Harper does so many things, and we just wanted to stay with this group of doctors and expand in Alabama and Atlanta. And these were the best doctors we could get that they actually want to do this and actually care about all of your injuries that you guys have, because these guys are not in it for the money. They're definitely in it for the patient care. As you could see, you've been to Dr. Harper in Atlanta, and those of you that know Dr. Harper in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, I know I had a bunch of things to talk about.
Yeah, just take your time.
So you guys know we have federal injury centers of Clearwater, federal injury centers of Atlanta, Montgomery, Birmingham, Memphis, and we have Norwood, Quincy, Worcester, and Woburn. I don't know. Somebody from Massachusetts jump in and tell me the right way to say the words. But we have those are our federal injury centers location
for now.
I am now a part of the team with the doctor in Chicago, Dr. Anthony Petrone. So those of you that are in Chicago, I'm a part of his team. So when you get injured, please give me a call and I will get you scheduled. And Dr. Petrone is an amazing, amazing doctor.
And this is where, so Dr. Petrone, Tony, is a good friend of mine. And this is where I give him a hard time and tell him, everyone in Chicago should already know you're there. Because for 3 years, he's been just crushing it, getting claims accepted. No denials. I mean, he is the epitome of no more denied claims, okay? And so it's shocking to me that you guys aren't getting the word out that, what are you, in the third largest city in the country? Yeah. Look, he's one guy. But that man hires people as fast as he needs to. I think he's got doctors bumping into each other over there, just wanting to help you. And so, Gini's here to help him get the word out. That he's there because, third largest city in the country, folks need some help. And the injuries are not any better there than anywhere else. It's happening there at the same rate. And the claims are getting denied at the same rate, except at his office.
Yeah, so he's not a part of federal injury centers.
But we trained him.
Yeah, Chris trained him, and I'm going to be helping him out, get the word out. So anybody that's in Chicago with the VA, and all the other federal agencies, you want me to come out, I'm going to drag Chris with me to come do union meetings. But
in the spring.
I'm coming in the winter. Chris is coming in the spring and summer, maybe fall. But I'll be, a part of his office team now. And again, Texas, you're asking about Texas.
So Maryland, it turns out I live there. I live just north of Dallas. And I used to have 4 offices there. And look, I'm a 5th generation Texan. I want to help people in Texas, okay? But the people in Texas didn't want the help. And I've got to use my time wisely. And this is a big country, and everyone needs this help. And so because, frankly, the unions there weren't very open to letting me come and train. I'm trying to just be gentle here. We had to make a business decision to move on to where the help was wanted, not just needed, because it's needed everywhere. However, I have a friend who has a great doctor and a first-class office in Grand Prairie, Texas. We'll be happy to, and he's also got an office in Fort Worth, so we can lead you to him. We've also, you don't want that?
Yeah.
Okay. We've also got an office in.
Oh, I thought it was tea.
She doesn't listen. We've also got an office that we've trained in Houston. So you can go to Houston, Grand Prairie, or Fort Worth, Texas. And there are offices that I can vouch for because I train them, or I, intimately know the people in the office, and I know they do a great job. So if you need help in Texas, I can recommend those offices. Those are not Federal Injury Centers locations, but they are spectacular locations nonetheless. They'll definitely get the job done.
Whatever I drank in that cup made my cough just completely go away.
Apple juice.
Apple juice.
Moving on.
You said Baltimore. Okay, so let me go back and tell you where all the doctors that Chris is trained. So Rockville, Maryland, Dr. Weinberg and Dr. Paulson are there.
Yeah.
Chicago, Dr. Patron and Dr. Barnes and me. Ding. Indianapolis is Dr. Terry Toll, awesome doctor, and he just opened his office in Michigan. So all you Michiganers that wanted an office, he just opened as of the 4th, 2 days ago. His office is open, so he's ready to go in Michigan.
Dr. Say and Dr. Say.
And Dr. Say in Racine, Wisconsin.
It's Dr. Say and Say because it's MD and chiropractor, their father and son.
Yes, it was some strong apple juice, Tammy. Dr. Heaton in, is it Phoenix? Tucson, Arizona. They're a great group of doctors up there too.
He'll write a narrative that'll make you go blind on reading it. You will absolutely be required to say yes if you're a claim examiner. You cannot say no to his narratives. Period. You're going to accept the claim. That's how it goes.
So we don't have anything in West Virginia, but Chris was out in Virginia 2 weeks ago with a new group, and I'll have him just touch a little bit on that group as well. But West Virginia, we don't have anything, but Virginia we do.
So Dr. Petrie is up there, and she's got a team of medical doctors that are so spectacular. If you go there, you're definitely going to be happy. One of them was formerly with the DOD. He's very passionate about getting these claims accepted. Both of them are. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I was really, really happy to be there. Hopefully Jay, who is basically the Gini of the Virginia office, hopefully he's on. If so, Jay, comment on this and say hi. But they've got a really, really neat office. They've got some treatment modalities that I'm not used to seeing. They've got these hyperbaric chambers that I'm not an expert at it, but what I know is like professional athletes use it, and these chambers are better than those chambers. And so it promotes healing and so forth. And plus they do the physical therapy and some other stuff. But it's a really neat office. So they're located just like 15 minutes out of Alexandria. A very, very much needed office location. And by the way, we had so many people from Virginia saying they needed a doctor in Virginia. There is one now. So, feel free and just flood her office.
Yeah.
Okay. Make that worth it for her.
Siobhan, we know you love the Virginia office, and I know Jerry went to go see Chris there.
And we love y'all too.
Yeah, the doctors that we listed, I will go ahead at the end and post it on all the pages, Federal Injury Centers, Wednesday night OWCP chats, and both of our personal pages where all the doctors are located. Unfortunately, the doctors don't go to another city. So Dr. Toll in Indiana is in Indianapolis.
You'll have to go to him, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, and he's in
Indianapolis.
In Michigan now.
Yeah. And
I'm scrolling because he sent me the address. So I'm just going to throw that. Okay. He's in Southfield, Michigan. So that's where Dr. Toll is. Southfield, Michigan and Indianapolis. Yeah. So, yeah. And let me go back here. If we haven't listed any other cities, it's coming very slowly. Understand something. When there's just like 5 of you saying you need a doctor, and we can't just put or train a doctor that's only going to see, 3 or 4 patients for DOL. It has to be where the doctor's going to be seeing a bunch of DOL patients, and it's beneficial for everyone to be in a central location. They're running a business too. Yeah.
And it's if they can't make a profit to stay in business, they can't help anybody. And so for them to even make a decision to do this, there's got to be, the feasibility of being able to help a lot of people. And so that's why, when we hear about an area that needs help, but we find out that, the different groups that we like to teach aren't going to be receptive, it's awfully hard to put an office there because, it's a struggle just to get your attention and say, hey, you're hurt. Would you like some help? I'm so thankful that you're here watching this, and I hope you'll share this with your coworkers. But I think that this is probably the future of how we're going to be able to teach you, because here nobody can tell me no. I can just click play, or go live, and I can do all the teaching I want. So please share this. Let's get 5 figures as far as the number of people that are watching this thing, and I think we're going to change some lives. We're definitely going to change. We're going to change OWCP. Definitely, we're going to change OWCP.
And just to end tonight's Wednesday night OWCP chats, I was in Atlanta last week with Chris, and I went to a few union halls with the union president, and Chris gave me a letter to drop off. And we understand, and this goes out to the union presidents, we understand why you're so skeptical, why you don't want to work with us or send your members or even tell them about where they should go, because there's been a lot of bad things in Atlanta. But understand, if you just gave us the chance and see what we're all about, we're not there Chris isn't there to market any of the doctors. He's fully there educating. Now, if anybody wants to know where a doctor is while we're at the union meetings, he tells them at the end of the education part that he does, if you guys are looking for a doctor or need to set up an appointment, go talk to Gini. So Chris doesn't even do that. But what I got was, oh, I know you, you're the girl on the Facebook thing that happens every week. Well, great, you know who I am. But we're just trying to help the people. And trust me, I get calls all the time. Why can't we come to their union meeting? This is the reason why we can't come to a union meeting. Again, your president has to invite us to your union meetings, to your state conventions. So those of you that are in Atlanta, share this. Dr. Harper is located in Roswell. It's a beautiful facility. I've done a Facebook
another
Live,
first-class office.
Yeah, I done a Facebook Live video there. There's only one group here in Evansville that accepts OWCP. None others will.
That's the way that goes.
And that's the hard part.
Welcome to OWCP.
Yeah, if there's one doctor already there, it's hard for us to just say, okay, we're going to, come in and do our thing and help you guys. Gary, thank you so much. We love the mail handlers. Last week, while we were in Atlanta, we also drove down to Birmingham. We went to the mail handlers meeting. We love the state president. We love the local president. I personally will be in Montgomery. Chris can't be there in 2 weeks on the 23rd. Gizmo took the show. I'll be at the mail handlers meeting on Saturday, the February 23rd, and I'll post that. So those of you in Montgomery that are mail handler employees and union, come out, see me. I'll have brochures. I'll, schedule appointments right there while I'm at the union meeting, and just get to know me. And we'll, it's all about Gizmo now. Gizmo just took over the show.
All right, Gizmo's saying bye because I got to tell you something.
So
pay attention. So.
Huh? You're telling me or them?
Nah, then.
Oh. Bring him back.
I already know you're not paying attention. On the thing she was saying. Everybody that saw my little quick video the other day with the ocean in the background, which was, everybody should just go to the ocean. Okay. Forget that winter stuff. Find beaches. Everybody just needs more beaches. Anyways, the point of that video was we're not teamwork ready. And a lot of people are even scared to use those 3 words together in a sentence because it has such leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But we're not them. And it's so funny. Like, seriously, man, like, that doesn't say teamwork ready. Does it? No, it doesn't. And we don't know them. We don't know any of them. We've never met any of them. I couldn't tell you even a single one of their names. But their Department of Justice report is page 1 in our compliance manual. Like, it's mandatory reading. And so, but all the time, because of those guys, there might have been ladies there, but whatever. Because of them, there's a lot of unions that are just like scared to work with us. And they don't want to have that trouble anymore. They're tired of getting burned. I understand. Man, I definitely understand not wanting to continue to be burned. But that's not us. Those of you that know us, you already know this already, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir. Siobhan, I read what you wrote, that they didn't have nice stuff to say about us, which is shocking because I'm a fairly nice dude. and she's pretty nice.
Who said that?
So you read Siobhan's thing.
Oh.
So, you know, we're really nice people with really pure intentions. We love you. I mean, like, seriously love you. And we spend all day doing this and not getting paid to do it. This is, you know, we've found a way to make money without having to get any money from you. And it's all legal. It's all been blessed by a lawyer. You know, the law allows for certain things, and, you know, we stay within it. But most importantly, we're just here trying to teach, trying to help. And nobody should be willing to accept that only 1 out of 13 people who are federal employees have accepted claims. If everyone had this thing under control, your claims acceptance rate would be near 100. Okay, you don't have it under control. You don't have a clue. I'm sorry. If you did, your claims acceptance rate would be near 100%, but it's not. And so too many of you are scared to file claims. Too many of you don't know how to file claims. Too many of you don't know about the forms. Too many of your supervisors are threatening you and giving you a hard time. And, you know, frankly, too many of the groups that have the opportunity to put good teachers in front of you refuse to. So Teamwork Ready set OWCP back decades, but Federal Injury Centers is here trying to bring it back to the, you know, to the present time where that stuff's not happening. And you know, you're going to have to find a way to get over the past. You're just going to have to. You're going to have to trust us. And look, those of you like what Siobhan said that are talking bad about us and think the worst of us, we still love you. You know, we're still going to say yes if you ask us to come out and teach. We're not going to take it personal. We know you've been burned, but you weren't burned by us, and we're not going to burn you. We're going to keep helping.
Mr. Hodge, you're on.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Hodge?
Those of you in Columbus, make sure when Mr. Hodge runs, you guys vote for him for president, because I'm his campaign manager.
That's right, actually.
So vote Hodge.
Vote Hodge.
Anyway, those of you that have any more questions regarding the 4 topics that Chris discussed,
or anything else,
yeah, or any of your personal issues, go ahead and message us on our Facebook pages or our federal injury pages, or if you want to put it on here for people to see what you're going through, go ahead.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and list all locations where there's doctors. Understand, if it's not listed on the paper that on the post that I share, we don't have a doctor. We are working on getting more doctors. It just takes, it's not easy.
Hard.
It's very hard.
And then when we find one that's willing, we have to train them. And I'm not going to unleash them to you until they're ready to be there. So it takes some time.
Yeah, Siobhan, yeah. At this point, we just don't even bother with the people that have negative things to say, because obviously I don't know who your union people is. And
that's fine.
And I don't know who they are
okay.
there. So I really don't, it doesn't bother me anymore. I know JJ had put a stop to a lot of stuff. So thanks, JJ. And we need to be educated, and the 2 of you are doing a great job. Thank you for all your help. Thank you, Barbara.
And, you know, this wasn't a bash session on any unions. We love all of them. We think they're valuable and powerful, and they're needed. Look, I see how supervisors are screwing you folks over every day. You need them. And so, you know, we're right there with them. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Like, we genuinely love the unions. Some of our very best, closest friends are top union people.
Yeah.
And we think they're incredible. And like I said, almost every steward I know at least wants to be a powerhouse. You know, they're committed, and helping you is hard. And there's a lot of you and very few of them, you know. And so for the most part, you know, things are great. The folks are great. The union people we deal with are great. And those that don't know us yet, they just misunderstand.
Yeah.
And if they just take a second to figure it out, all of those bad feelings will go away, because there's no good reason for them. We're not Teamwork Ready. We're Federal Injury Centers. We're just here to help. Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for tonight, everyone. If anyone has any more questions, again, please don't forget to comment them below. Don't forget to like Federal Injury Center's Facebook page, Wednesday night OWCP chats. All of you are already on our personal pages, and you're welcome to still continue to add us on that. And again, your union meetings have your local presidents, state conventions, and national conventions. We need to hear from the local president or the state president and the national inviting us. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. And everyone, have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Don't forget to share this to your page.
Twitter @Fed Injury Center.
Gizmo, say bye. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.